Hello my dear students, let us start our today's class. First I will discuss the classwork which I have given in last day. The question was, a convex lens can form a magnified erect as well as magnified inverted image of an object placed in front of it. Draw ray diagram to justify this statement, stating the position of the object with respect to the lens in each case. Now see, two conditions are, for one condition image will be erect and another image will be inverted, but for the both situation image will be magnified. So let us consider the first case where the image is erect and magnified. So we know if the position of the object is between optical center and f2 of the convex lens, then the image will be magnified but erect. Clear? And magnification will be greater than +1, as both h and h prime both are positive here. Magnification will be greater than +1. And let us consider the second situation when the image is magnified but inverted. And we know if the object is in between f1 and twice f1, the image will be formed on the other side of the lens and it will be beyond twice f2 and it will be magnified but inverted. So here magnification will be greater than -1. Clear? Now let us discuss the homework or assignment which I have given in last class. First question was, an object 5 cm in length is held 25 cm away from a converging lens of focal length 10 cm. Draw the ray diagram and find the position, size and the nature of the image formed. Now what are the given informations? The height of the object, that is h, is 5 cm. Object distance -25 cm. And focal length, see, as it is converging lens means convex lens, so f is +10 cm. And we have to derive the distance of the image and height or size of the image. So using lens formula, 1 by v minus 1 by u equals to 1 by f. 1 by v will get 50 by 3, that is plus 16.6 centimeter. So as it is plus 16.67 centimeter, means image will form on the other side of the lens, that of the object. Means it is a real image we will get. Clear? And it will be formed between f2 and twice f2 of the lens. Now see, from magnification, m equals to v by u equals to h prime by h. If we compare, h prime will be v by u into h. Just substitute the all values. What we will get? H prime will be minus 3.33 centimeter. And see, the ray diagram also I have drawn for you. And it will be a real, inverted and diminished image. Clear? Now next question number 2. A concave lens of focal length 15 cm forms an image 10 cm from the lens. How far is the object placed from the lens? Draw the diagram. See, as it is concave lens, f will be minus 15 cm. And see, for concave lens, for any position of the object, image is always formed on the same side as that of the object. So v will be always negative. So v is minus 10 centimeter. And we have to derive the object distance, that is using lens formula 1 by v minus 1 by u equals to 1 by f. We can calculate the value of u and substitute all values. See the calculations properly. And u will be minus 30 centimeter. So the object is placed at distance 30 centimeter from the optical center of the lens. Now see the ray diagram I have drawn for you. Check the ray diagram properly. Now next question, number 3. An object of size 7 centimeter is placed 27 centimeter in front of a concave mirror of focal length 18 centimeter. At what distance from the mirror should a screen be placed so that a sharp focused image can be obtained? And find the size and nature of the image. Now see here given informations. Height of the object, that is h, is equals to 7 centimeter. Object distance u is minus 27 centimeter. And see, for the concave mirror, focal length will be negative. Means f is minus 18 centimeter. And we have to derive v, that is image distance and image. Now mirror formula is 1 by v plus 1 by u equals to 1 by f. Just substitute all the values of u and f. We will get 1 by v equals to minus 54 centimeter. Clear? So minus 54 means image will form in front of the mirror. Clear? So where we have to place the screen to cast a clear image for the image, to cast the clear image for the object. So screen should be placed at 54 centimeter distance from the mirror. Clear? And now magnification, we know for mirror m is minus v by u equals to h prime by h. Therefore h prime will be minus v by u into h. Just substitute all the values. What we will get? H prime is minus 14 centimeter. So image is inverted and magnified and also real. So we have completed our chapter 10, that is light, reflection and refraction. And I think all of you are a little bit bored with continuous discussion about light, its lens, mirror and their numericals. So let's take a break from light and start chapter 12, that is electricity. And I hope all of you will enjoy the discussion about electricity. Now today I will only give a little bit introduction about the chapter. So let's start electricity. So electricity is a source of energy that has made our life very comfortable and easy. And there is hardly any field where electricity is not needed. Its importance can be felt at once when the electricity supply of our city breaks down. And in order to understand the concept of electricity, we must know about the electric charge. So what is electric charge? Electric charge is a physical property of a substance which causes it to experience a force when placed near other electric substance. So electric charge is a special physical property of a substance. We can experience this property, but we cannot see it. Means charge, we cannot see the charge, but its effect we can experience. Like magnet, if I give you two identically looks object, one is magnet and another one is magnetic material. Externally it is very difficult to identify which one is magnet and which one is magnetic material. But with the special property of magnet like attraction or repulsion, we can identify which one is magnet and which one is magnetic material. So this special property, its effect we can see, but that property we cannot see. Like this, charge is a special physical property of a substance. Now let us discuss more about the types of charges. Now a substance consists of atoms which is electrically neutral. All we know, atoms are electrically neutral. That is, net electric charge on each atom is 0. But when electron, proton and neutron were discovered, it was observed that electron and proton have a special physical property, and this nature is opposite to each other. And this property was defined as charge. The property of electron and proton was defined as charge. And for proton, it was named as positive charge. Whether electron has negative charge. Means here positive and negative sign is not similar to the conventional sign in algebraic mathematics. They were simply given name that proton is positive charge, a special property which is positive charge, and the special property of electron was given the name of negative charge. And this is just a nomenclature to distinguish between two opposite charges. And as neutron is electrically neutral and atom consists of equal number of proton, that is positive charge, and equal number of electron, that is negative charge. Therefore, net charge on atom is 0. Means if whatever be the number of neutron in any atom, if number of proton is 7, number of electron is also 7. So plus 7 charge and minus 7 charge cancel each other or make neutral each other. Clear? And actually later on we will come to know the amount of charge in each electron or proton are same, but only their nature is opposite to each other. Now, the protons are tightly bound in the nucleus of atom and the electrons revolve around the nucleus in different orbits. For some atoms, electrons in the outermost orbit are loosely bound to the nucleus as compared to the electrons in the inner orbits. If these loosely bound electrons somehow get sufficient energy to overcome the nuclear force, what happens? They left the atom and become free electrons. So if any atoms lose outermost electrons, what happens? The number of protons will be increased. So it will become positively charged atom. So means if any atoms loses electrons, it will become positively charged. And if any atoms receive that loosely that's free electron, then it will become negatively charged. Why? Before receiving the free electrons, the number of electron and proton was same, but after any atoms received extra electrons, number of electrons will be increased, so it will become negatively charged. Clear? Now what happens when a glass rod is rubbed with a silk cloth? The glass rod acquires one kind of charge, which is conventionally positive charge, and the silk cloth acquires another special kind of charge, which is negative charge. How? Actually, what happens when glass rod is rubbed with silk cloth? The loosely bound electrons from the glass rod move from the atoms and move to silk cloth. Thus, losing electrons, glass rod become positively charged. On the other hand, free electrons are transferred to the silk cloth and it becomes negatively charged. So this is the way how electrification happens. So this much is for today. Next day we will discuss more about electricity. Thank you. And next week on 1st June, there will be one class test for you for your chapter 10, that is on light. Get ready for the test, take preparation, and test will be taken during your class hour time. Before just your class will start, I will send the question paper in your campus care or in your WhatsApp group, and time will be mentioned, whether half an hour or 45 minutes. Within that duration of time you have to submit your answer sheet, and no late submission will be allowed. Okay, so get prepared for your coming class test on chapter 10, that is light. Okay, thank you.